9 signs you are eating too much salt. Can you pass me the salt, please? How often do you hear yourself or others around you say this phrase? No matter if it's a business lunch with your colleagues, a family meal, or a dinner date, we feel the urge to spice up our meals with salt. For some of us, it is unthinkable to have our food without it. It just seems so tasteless. Do you agree? Give us thumbs up if you also think so. You may or may not believe that spilling salt is bad luck, but there is one thing about it you better trust. Salt can be very dangerous for your health. Brightside has put together a list of 9 signs clearly showing you are eating too much salt. Salt has been an essential element of human and animal diets for centuries. Salt served as a currency in many countries, and people literally got into fights over it. In the Middle Ages, it was sometimes called white gold because it was incredibly expensive. Salt has been such an important part of life. It has a big place in literature and culture of many nations. It is still a tradition to greet guests with bread and salt in many countries. Some popular cities would not be what they are without salt. Venice, for example, became economically developed thanks to its salt monopoly. Salzburg, which we know as the city of Mozart and the sound of music, translates from German as Salt Castle. There, salt mines were turned into tourist attractions. Today, there are around 14,000 uses for it, and food, industry, and medicine are the best known ones. If salt is so important and has been around for centuries, how can it do me any bad? Well, it can if you have too much of it. How much is too much? We'll answer that important question at the end of the video. For now, let's take a look at the list of signs you are eating too much salt. Number 9. You are always thirsty. Humans can't survive without water. We all know it. However, if your mouth feels dry as the Sahara Desert and you crave for water all the time, chances are you are consuming too much salt. Salt consists of sodium, 40%, and chloride, 60%. Sodium in large amounts takes water from your cells. Your brain's thirst center gets the signals. It will do everything possible to help your body restore the balance of fluid. You can also help it. On those days when you eat foods super rich in sodium like chips, pepperoni pizza, and other junk food, make sure you drink a lot of water. It is best to do it before the meal. It is even better to start your day with it instead of coffee or juice. Keep your water refrigerated so you can drink more of it. One important thing. Remember that constant thirst can also be a sign of diabetes, so it is a good idea to see a doctor just to be sure. Number 8. You need to go to the bathroom a lot. You might find it logically connected with our previous point. The more water you drink, the more often you need to go to the bathroom. It is not very convenient to have to rush to the toilet or look for it when you are out of your usual environment all the time. It is frustrating when it interrupts your sleep, and it is bad for your health. When you urinate, you lose calcium. When there is not enough of it in your blood, your body will have to take it from somewhere else, your bones. As a result, if you eat too much salt of a rather long time, you will get a higher risk of osteoporosis. Frequent urination can also be a symptom of type 2 diabetes, so if you experience it, it is best to consult a doctor. 7. You are craving unhealthy food. Have you ever noticed how much salt you add to your meals? A lot? We know. It is just because food tastes too plain otherwise, or has no taste at all. And when you don't have the time to cook properly, you go for easy-to-make meals like pizza, sandwiches, bacon, sausage, ham, and canned soups. What about broccoli or carrots? No thanks? If you are losing interest in healthy foods or would agree to eat them only spiced up by a good amount of salt, you might be on your way to becoming a salt addict. Next stage, you won't be able to eat unsalted food at all. Because why eat something which gives you no joy? You are not alone. People who eat too much salt basically turn off their taste buds. They become so accustomed to large amounts of salt, they want it with every meal. What does not have it is no meal to them. What can you do? Try to spice up your meals with strong-tasting spices and herbs. Black pepper, rosemary, thyme, and curry can become your new best friends. When you shop, check product labels and avoid foods that contain over 0.03 ounces of salt per 3.5 ounces of food. Cook from scratch whenever you can. That's how you can control the amount of salt in your meals. 6. You have muscle cramps. When was the last time you had muscle cramps? You are lucky if you can't remember. If you answered too often or every day, and you are not an elderly person or an athlete, then salt might be to blame. That sudden sharp pain probably gives you a lot of discomfort. Why does it happen? As we know, salt consists of sodium and chloride. Sodium and calcium help muscle contraction. Potassium, which is an essential mineral, salt, helps muscles to relax. When you mess up the sodium-potassium balance, your muscles respond as they become sore. 5. Fatigue and headaches are your frequent guests. You probably did not see this one coming. Too much salt can bring you headaches and fatigue. It does not mean you will grow tired and fall asleep after eating a pack of salty chips. However, overeating sodium leads to dehydration, which can be the reason of those headaches and fatigue. So, put your salt shaker down and have some natural foods rich in potassium. They should help you restore the balance. Start with some apricots, avocados, asparagus, and cauliflower, for example. We are halfway through the list. Have you learned something new so far? Click thumbs up to let us know. Keep watching this video till the end to find out why cutting back on salt can raise your productivity and how much salt a day is a healthy amount. Number 4. Your kidneys hurt a lot. Kidneys are our body's powerful chemical factories. They remove waste products, balance the fluids levels, and control the production of red blood cells. In other words, they are doing an important job. When you give them too much work to do, their productivity can fail. A diet too rich in sodium can cause kidney dysfunction. According to the World Action on Salt and Health, eating too much salt can lead to an increase in the amount of protein in your urine. It is a big risk factor for kidney disease. The risk of getting kidney stones is also increased if you have too much salt in your meals. If your kidneys are giving you much pain, it is best to see a doctor. He will most likely put you on a low-sodium diet. Number 3. You have high blood pressure. Your grandma probably checks blood pressure every day to keep her health under control. But why should you care about it? Well, it might be a good idea if you are eating a lot of salt. According to the American Heart Association, normal blood pressure is considered to be 120/80 and below. If the pressure exceeds this number and you do nothing to change it, it can lead to serious consequences: heart disease, a heart attack, or a worsening of cognitive functions. The unnecessary extra sodium holds more fluid in your body, which makes your heart work harder. You can help your heart by following a low-sodium diet and eating more heart-friendly foods, like nuts, oatmeal, beans, and pomegranate. The best news is coffee and red wine in reasonable amounts are both good for your heart. Number 2. Your body is swelling in strange places. Puffiness under the eyes can be a sign you're eating too much salt. Your body is trying to balance the excess salt, and it has to hold extra water somewhere. If not under your eyes, it can choose your ankles as that storage space. It is normal for them to swell a little if you spent the whole day on your feet. But if the swelling is persistent, it might be a sign you are doing something wrong. Your fingers can also swell because of too much salt in your diet. You can notice it if you wear rings and they suddenly start feeling too tight. Even your whole hand might look and feel bloated in the morning. This condition is called edema. It could be a symptom of a more serious disease or a sign you have to cut back on salt. Meanwhile, control your diet. It won't hurt. Number 1. Sometimes you can't think straight. The final, and probably least expected point on our list. Who could imagine salt can somehow affect your brain functioning? A 2011 Canadian study on 1,200 adults has found a connection between salt overdose and brain productivity. Those who had more sodium in their diet had a higher chance of cognitive decline than those who ate just the right amount of salt. It is especially important to track the amount of salt you consume as you are getting older. Dehydration, extra sodium causes in your body, can make your brain foggy and get you confused. If that is your problem, the best thing you can do is control your diet and see a doctor. We hope you found this information useful and will change your diet if you see any of the signs we mentioned. Now, we are going to answer the big question: how much is too much when it comes to salt? Americans have almost 3,400 milligrams of sodium every day, and it's more than double the optimal amount. According to the American Heart Association, 1,500 milligrams of sodium is your healthy limit. That's 0.75 teaspoons of salt. That does not sound like a lot, but we have faith you can be strong and limit your salt consumption to this number. If you liked this video, let us know by giving us a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.